What's up, everybody? Matt Kajeski here, back again with the Stokastic channel, talking college football, DFS. It is week 1, Saturday, the main slate. It is here, and I'm excited. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We're also brought to you today by Prize Picks, and if you've never heard of Prize Picks, they're daily prop-based contest. There's no mass entries, no sharks, no optimizers. You just make lineups of player props. In fact, you can make lineups up to 5 players where you can 10x your entry fee. And you can do this across sports. We're talking college football today, but you can do NFL when that comes back next week. You can do baseball, whatever it is you prefer. You can make lineups across sports too. And you can also get a first match deposit bonus up to $100 when you use the promo code AWESEMO. To take advantage of that, just click the link in the video description below. Again, promo code AWESEMO gets you a first match deposit bonus up to $100. All right, everybody, it is already Saturday, and we have a full live before lock breakdown of every single game. So we're just going to go position by position and talk the top plays ahead of this slate. And we'll start at the quarterback position. And where we need to begin, I think, is with Maryland. It's a team that has a ton of stacking potential, and Taulia Tagovailoa is 8,700 on DraftKings. This is a player who plays on a Maryland team, which is incredibly pass heavy and incredibly up tempo. They're also not known for playing the best defense. Last year, they passed 55% of the time. That was 15th in the country. They were also fairly up tempo, 73 plays per game. That was 38th. And then you have a pocket passer in Taulia Tagovailoa who averaged over 300 passing yards per game. Right now, he actually paces our projections in terms of just raw passing yards. He's not the most mobile quarterback, so he does need to get there via what he's going to do through the air. Fortunately, he draws a matchup against Buffalo today, and Maryland is a 24-point favorite. That gives them a 44.5 implied team total, meaning they should score a lot of points and they should move the ball. And better yet, I know we're not talking receivers yet, but I feel like we need to in this instance. His options are so cheap today if you want to talk stacks. You get Dante Demas back from injury. He's only 6,800. This guy had over 500 yards receiving in just 5 games last year. You get back Raheem Jarrett. He had over 800 receiving yards in the full body of work last year, and now he's going to be playing in this offense as well with another season under his belt. He's only 5,900. These are 2 incredible values on this slate, and they make for very easy pairing options with Taulia Tagovailoa. With his team total, overall, the Maryland players are projecting very, very well. So Taulia Tagovailoa, he's quarterback 1 we'll talk about today with these stacking options, Raheem Jarrett and Dante Demas. For those of you going a little cheaper down the quarterback route, you can look at BYU's Jaren Hall. He is 7,200, and he's a player that also makes a lot of sense today. When you look at BYU's game environment, they're taking on South Florida, who is an improved team. Yes, South Florida is also at home, but you have a player on a team with a 35 implied team total. BYU is still a 12-point favorite in this game, and the total is 58.5. That's a solid implied team total overall. And then Jaren Hall's best skill might be his mobility. This guy rushed for 307 yards and 3 scores on the ground last year, and then he was actually solid through the air. He averaged over 250 passing yards per game, 20 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions for Jaren Hall. Efficient through the air and efficient on the ground. He also returned some of his best pass catchers. You're getting back Puka Nacua, who led the team in receiving. You're getting back Romney, another really good player for this team. He was their 2nd leading receiver. It's all setting up for Jaren Hall here against a weaker USF team, and they have a solid implied team total regardless. Now, let's go to the running back position. There's a couple players at the top, I think, that are worth mentioning. There are some potential blowout spots, but with that, that means our players probably did well on the way to a blowout. So first one I want to talk about is Zach Charbonnet for UCLA. You have this UCLA team taking on Bowling Green. It's a 23.5 point spread, 56.5 point total, which means UCLA is implied for exactly 40 points. Very, very good in the context of this slate. And what did Zach Charbonnet do last year? Well, he rushed 203 times, 1,137 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 24 catches for another 197 yards. And let's not forget, that was with Britton Brown in the backfield, who's now with the Las Vegas Raiders, who carried 100 times himself. Zach Charbonnet, one of the most efficient runners on this slate. He should have the efficiency here against Bowling Green. and volume's not an issue for him if Bowling Green does happen to keep this close. His price tag is fairly affordable overall. Charbonnet 7,900 on DraftKings. That's certainly somewhere we can look. In a similar spot, we're going to go to Michigan. And first thing, game environment wise, Michigan is a massive favorite here. They're playing Colorado State. It's a spread that's actually one of the biggest on the board. 30.5 points, 61-point total. If you don't know Colorado State, they changed head coaches. They're now going to be up-tempo and pass-heavy, and they're in a full rebuild, so their defense isn't the best either. All this to say, Michigan has a 46 implied team total with the 30-point spread. So yes, we're probably not going to see full run of Blake Corum, but he still projects as an awesome value here at 7,300. Blake Corum got hurt last year. He injured his foot, but before he did so, he rushed for 952 yards and caught 24 passes. Awesome efficiency here from Blake Corum. And if you're worried about the blowout and you want to go a cheaper route, Michigan runs the ball so much that you're typically seeing two running backs with viable volume. We saw that last year with Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum. The player that's going to step up for Hassan Haskins should be Donovan Edwards. He's 5K flat, and he was really efficient in a small sample last year. He carried 35 times, 174 yards, but where he really shined was as a receiver. 20 catches, 265 yards there. 5K is a really cheap price to pay for a team that's going to be running the ball a ton today, like Donovan Edwards here as a pivot. And we already talked a few receivers. The Maryland guys really stand out, so we won't belabor the point there. Yes, they're awesome targets, but a couple other guys that are certainly in play. We look to this Oklahoma team. They're changing offensive staffs. Venables comes over as head coach. We know he's defensive-minded, but he brings Jeff Lebby over from Ole Miss. The Ole Miss offensive coordinator last year who took play-calling duties away from Lane Kiffin. Oklahoma's a 30-point favorite, 44 implied team total against a UTEP team that doesn't play very good defense. Now, in the pass game, we have Dylan Gabriel at signal caller. He's more of your pure pocket passer, so that threat of the run that we saw with Caleb Williams isn't there anymore. Marvin Mims stands out as an alpha receiver that we should be able to target. One of the most efficient receivers in the country last year, even though he didn't play a full complement of snaps. Only 32 catches, but 705 yards receiving. That's over 22 yards per catch. Absolutely incredible efficiency here. And for those of you playing GPPs, they put out a depth chart in Norman, and they listed Jaleel Farouk as a starting receiver. No or designation. He was a starting receiver flat out. Now, he's more of a projection right now. He's not a player that's received a lot of playing time in his career. Only 4 catches last year. But he's a young player, a highly recruited player with tons of upside. This could be the guy that maybe comes in and replaces a Jaden Hazelwood. And with Jaleel Farouk, you're paying an incredibly cheap price tag on him, just $4,100. So if you're looking for cheap stacks with Oklahoma, he's a guy to potentially look at for a team that's going to throw the ball a good amount with a massive implied team total here. But thank you guys for watching. Again, we're going to have rundowns of every single game, most of the DFS plays on Live Before Lock, so make sure to check that out. And before you head out, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment. I'll make sure to get back to you. And if you want to reach out on Twitter, you can find me at Matt_Kajeski. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again next time.